Hey y'all, the Original Gamer here, and you know what I love more than video games? Food. And what do you get when you mix both of those together? Cooking Mama, the game that shows you how to cook real recipes, and some people say that they actually work in real life. Do they? Let's find out. No.
Cooking Mama Cookstar released about a week ago on the Nintendo Switch, and you're wondering why you haven't heard much about it? That's because it's been removed from almost every single storefront. The reason why is because there's been some beef between the developers and the publishers, and they just decided to have all these storefronts remove it from the shelves for now. Now, Cooking Mama games have been around for over a decade. They've been on the DS, 3DS, Wii, not the Wii U, and now the Nintendo Switch. They've had many different variations from cooking, babysitting, camping, and gardening, all these many different variations, but now we are back to good old Cooking Mama. Now this is a very classical Cooking Mama game, very straight to the point. There's not much to do in this game as there are only really 3 different gameplay options to choose from. Those are traditional recipes, vegetarian recipes, and potluck party. Now traditional recipes are the recipes that you would pretty much make in every other Cooking Mama game. Straight to the point, make some food, boom. Vegetarian recipes is pretty much the same exact thing as vegetarian recipes, except anything that involves meat is substituted with something that's not meat. So there's a hamburger, instead of a beef patty, use a bean patty. So it's the same exact recipes, except some things changed up quite like a tiny bit. So not really much of a difference. And the final game mode is Potluck Party, which is essentially a bunch of boring Mario Party-esque game modes that require a second player. So I felt that those game modes went on for a bit too long and they're too much of the same thing, that they're really boring, and I can't see anyone being like, hey, let's go play some Potluck Party. You know, that kind of thing. Now the visuals right off the bat, as soon as I loaded up the game, we were greeted by a weird looking 3D model of Cooking Mama, and I'm just not used to that. I love the 2D looking art style of the previous games. I love that style. It was super adorable. And seeing her like slapped onto a 3D model just looks super weird, like the flat 2D face. It just looks super awkward, and I just don't like the look of it. It just doesn't feel like Cooking Mama should. Now into the gameplay. The gameplay is questionable at times, as it requires motion controls. Yeah, motion controls. And with the motion controls, you could only use one Joy-Con, so you can't do anything that involves 2 Joy-Cons. You're only allowed to use one at a time, which I think is really weird. I think the functionality of being able to use 2 Joy-Cons at once would have made more sense for a cooking game, but you know, can't. You just can't. Now a lot of the times Joy-Cons gave me issues with the game, and I'm pretty sure that's all in Cooking Mama's part, because it was very unresponsive sometimes. Like I would be trying to cut some bread, and a lot of the times I'd be having to, you know, just shake my hand back and forth just trying to get it to cut a piece off, and it was really giving me a workout for quarantine, because you know, I've just been sitting down doing nothing, playing games all day. This actually gave me a workout. So you know what, guys, if you want to get some exercise, this game's one for you. But other than that, the only times I ever really missed points on a recipe is because the Joy-Cons were unresponsive. And that's a huge bummer, because the main point of these games is the motion controls and being able to actually make the recipes by doing what it tells you to do. Instead, you're having to struggle and constantly repeat the same exact motion just to hope it actually detects it. And that was a very unfortunate thing that I found out.
You can do it! What are you doing?
Now there's a decent selection of recipes to start off with. I started making the weird rainbow grilled cheese, and that was a weird recipe, but it was very simple. I got 3 stars, and when you get 3 stars, you are greeted by a super weird looking Cooking Mama just dancing, like doing something straight out of Fortnite. I don't know what she was doing, it just doesn't look normal.
Whoa, you are the real hero!
One cool feature is that once you're done making every recipe, you have the option to take a picture of it and change the background a bit, and you're able to upload the picture you took to Twitter. So that's exactly what I did while playing. Is I put my magnifique meal on a fancy candlelit table, and I posted that masterpiece on my Twitter with a very heartfelt caption. And over here on the ice cream, I tried to make a little smiley face, so that was pretty cool. I did like that feature a lot. If you're a Cooking Mama fan, I really recommend you to pick this game up and give it a try, if you can at least, if they have it out on storefronts. There is some fun to be had if you get past all the wonky controls, and it is definitely worth the shot. Just as long as you're paying under 30 bucks for it.
Now in short, this is a Cooking Mama game, and you get about as much as what you would have out of any other Cooking Mama game. And I also found out that you can play this game handheld, which I felt to be a much better experience, though there are some times that the controls don't feel responsive, and they do still feel a bit kind of wonky. Now, if you'll excuse me while I call the fire department to save me from the fire. Yeah, my mom left the oven on.